Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Angela Slovak. I'm going to be your instructor for human physiology this year. And I couldn't help but do another video from my place of shooting videos for the last 5 months for Rose State. We're all coming back to campus. It's been about 5 months since most of us faculty have been on campus. So it's going to feel a little bit different when we finally meet each other face to face. I'm going to continue supporting all of our work that we'll do in person on video as well, so that we can keep our class going. I was just updating your syllabus for this year, and I'm so glad you're already taking a look at this class. You're up on Canvas and you found our class, the virtual portion. So I'll be supporting you both virtually and in person this year. God willing, we can make it through the whole semester. But we've made some adjustments to keep everybody safe. And one of the first things you'll see when you come back to campus is everyone's going to have a mask on. So Midwest City has a city ordinance that people in public spaces have to have a mask on their face. And Rose State campus also has the same policy. So whenever you're on campus, make sure you have a mask. I know that when Raider Day starts, they'll be giving out masks that have the Raider logo. So there should be masks available. In case at this point you don't have your own, we'll have masks available. But it's really important that we try to protect each other. At the very least, wear a mask and implement social distancing. So one of the things that you may see on your schedule is they've moved our lectures to the big lecture hall. It should say LH0100 on your schedule. And I'll put a map up of the campus so you can make sure and see where they've moved us to. So lecture hall will allow for social distancing. It's usually very cold in that room. The air conditioning is always on overtime. So if you haven't had a class in lecture hall before, it's actually just to the east of science and math, which is normally where we would meet. But our lecture hall is usually really small, and we have got really big classes. Admin is saying class enrollment is down. All of my classes are super, super full. So I just wanted to let you guys know, I've been teaching this class for over 8 years now, and we did it completely virtually over summer, and human physiology went great over the summer. So I have a lot of content for you already. So make friends with Canvas regardless of whether you're utilizing the FLEX option, where you can be on campus and come to class, or do everything online. You can choose. You can do it either way. There's no penalty for being absent because a lot of people may end up getting sick. So when you're home quarantining, you can still keep up with your classes here. I'm going to use Canvas very, very heavily. And I've got the syllabus ready for you guys. And I just wanted to do some quick introductions. If you need to meet with me, I would prefer doing meetings via Zoom. I have a very small office. I'm in Science and Math 101 if you need to come see me. But I would prefer doing a Zoom meeting, or maybe reserving one of the conference rooms and we can meet. So my office hasn't changed. I'm still in SM 101, but my office hours are going to be by appointment only. And my phone number for my office is also listed on your syllabus, but it's being forwarded to my emails, and really email is the best way to get in touch with me. I'm on email at least 4 or 5 times a day, so you'll probably have a same-day response if you have a question. A couple of things before we get started, I just want to mention the prerequisites for this class. This is a 2000 level biology class. So the prerequisites are a little different, and it's really highly recommended that you had at least intro to chemistry at the college level, not in high school, and also one of several different biology courses, because what I've done is I've broken up our human physiology course into 4 units throughout the semester. So when we start with Unit 1, we are going to start with an overview of the human body. We'll talk about the primary tissues. That's in your Chapter 1 notes, which you can see here. If you click on the Unit 1 module in Canvas, you'll see all my lecture notes, support videos, homework assignments, things like that already there for you. And the Unit 1 material starts off with cell biology. So when we look at human physiology, that's all about mechanisms and function. And in order to understand that in the whole organism, we need to understand the cell. Cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs work together in organ systems. You'll hear me talk about that in Chapter 1. So at the cellular level, we need to know some cell biology. And at that level, we talk a lot about ions dissolved in water. We're mostly water. So the chemistry and the cell biology hits you in the face right in Chapter 1 and in Unit 1. And then by the time we're in Chapter 3, we're talking about metabolism. So Krebs cycle, glycolysis, production of ATP. So there's going to be a lot of chemistry that I'm going to assume you are familiar with. So the prerequisites are listed here on your syllabus. Make sure you've had a chemistry and a biology at the college level, so you've got the prerequisites taken care of, and I won't sound like I'm speaking Greek when I start my first lectures. Okay, so FLEX, what does that mean? FLEX means you're encouraged to come to class, but it's not required. I'm not going to take attendance. You guys are adults, and we're not going to have to take attendance this year. And if you feel sick, if you feel like you've been exposed to someone who may be COVID positive, stay home. You are going to get the exact same content online as you would coming face-to-face to class. So that's what FLEX means. And I've also got some FLEX options for lab. There is a laboratory portion that's required for this class. So I've got 2 sections. I've got a Monday, Wednesday section that you guys will be with me, and also a Tuesday, Thursday section. So I think this one video will work for all of you, all 65 of you taking physiology with me this semester. A lot of times students ask me, is the textbook required? I know it's expensive, but yes, I use the textbook very heavily. I will be pulling diagrams, graphs, math calculations, principles directly from your book, which I feel like if you spend all that money on the book, we should use it. And you'll see that in my lecture notes that are already up for you. I have pulled figures directly from your book, trying to emphasize certain mechanisms so we have a good understanding of human physiology. No matter which unit we're in, we're going to use the book throughout the semester. So Principles of Human Physiology, 6th edition. The author is Cindy L. Stanfield. And the other book you have to get, it's not available on Amazon or anywhere else, is the lab manual. You'll put a mask on and come to Rose State's bookstore or order it. Maybe they'll send it to you directly, but don't wait on the lab guide. We have very full classes this year, and sometimes we run out of lab guides. So don't be the last person and you miss out on the lab guide. You won't be able to do the lab portion without the lab guide, since the lab manual or lab guide is only available at Rose. You need to have that. Our experiments, the pre-labs and the post-labs, and all the worksheets are going to be due in order for you to accumulate points, which I'll talk about that in just a second. So get that lab manual. It's authored by Leanne May, and I've got the ISBN number here on your syllabus if you need to make arrangements at the bookstore for your lab manual for Biology 2424, Human Physiology. And then I explained a little bit about the course objectives and expectations for this class. I'd like you guys to all have an idea of what homeostasis is. We'll start with homeostasis in Chapter 1 and the control of homeostasis, the interdependence of the structural levels. So I mentioned cellular, tissue, organ system. So we'll be going through the different levels or hierarchy throughout the semester. And we'll be talking about chemical gradients, osmosis, diffusion, So a lot of those are going to be ions because they're going to be dissolved in water. We are mostly water. Elaborate on how the transformation and expenditure of energy, example, metabolism, which is chapter 3, how that's vital for survival and homeostasis. I'd like you to be able to describe how cell-to-cell communication is used, and that's helping us maintain homeostasis. And these are all things that we are going to work through throughout the semester. And then you'll also be expected to demonstrate proper laboratory procedures, use of graphs, tables, and evaluate physiological processes, which is going to be more of a laboratory issue, but some of that will be reiterated in lecture as well. Methods of instruction for this FLEX semester are going to be FLEX between online and in person. So historically, it's a lecture-based in-person class, but we're going to have everything available online. So having a high-speed internet connection is going to be really important for us to be able to communicate this semester. We'll have 2.5 hours a week of lecture and 2.5 hours a week in lab. We'll also do class discussions via Zoom, including one-on-one meetings. I would prefer those to be on Zoom as well. And then short videos like this, where I'm going through the notes with you, talking to you, welcoming you, things like that. We'll use this method. And I think what we're going to do this semester is have everything based on points. So if you're submitting all of your work through Canvas, I'm just going to assign points, and Canvas will track your points as you go along. So you're in control of the grade that you get by accumulating points throughout the semester. So we've got lab points, 175 total between your experiments and quizzes. I'll assign 10 homework assignments. They're worth 10 points each. There's another 100 points. There'll be 4 exams. Each unit will end with an exam. Those are 100 points each. And each unit will have a 25-point quiz, and those will equal 100 points. And then the final, that's an optional cumulative final exam. That's worth 100 points. And that works to eliminate any low test score throughout the semester. So if you miss a test, you can replace that 0 with the final, or say maybe you got a low score on a test and you want to replace that low score with the final exam. I'll give you the higher grade. So 775 points are up for grabs this semester. And then I have a breakdown of the grading scale. So however many points is going to get you that letter grade. So the syllabus is going to have a lot of information for you. So I hope that you start a notebook just like you would, even if you want to just follow me online virtually for whatever reason. Go ahead and start a notebook. You're going to want to take notes. You're going to want to draw the diagrams and do the calculations and things anyways. But this syllabus can be right in the front because there's a lot of good information in here, and you may have to refer back to it throughout the semester. So the grading scale is finite, just based on points. I'm not going to do any percentages or anything like that, but you can figure out your percentage because most of the items are based on 100 points. So it works. So there's no curve. It's just the point system. And you will have a tracker of all your points built into Canvas. And we're going to submit all of our work typed unless it's a drawing or a graph. Some of you have been really creative and you can draw with your iPad, so that's also acceptable. Get into course policies. We're going to use Canvas very heavily. I also have a link to your student handbook if you have questions. Your student handbook will be linked here, and hopefully you're able to click on the Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday course and open up all this information here in Canvas. And you should have your college email and login, and then that should open up everything else for you so that you can navigate all of your classes, hopefully here on Canvas. Pearson is also included on your Canvas. If you look over here to the left on Canvas, you have a navigation bar, and you should see a link up near the top that says My Labs and Mastering. That is our publisher's website. We're also going to use that website from time to time. So in order to streamline your work, I've included a link to Pearson's website from Canvas. So you can click on that and then click on Open My Lab and Mastering. And the cool thing is, once you get into that publisher website, it's tied to everything in our book. So once you buy your book from the bookstore, you should have a code inside the front cover that'll allow you to log into this website. If you bought a used book, if you get the book from Amazon, that's okay too. You can probably just use a credit card to pay the difference between what you would have paid for the new book that had the code included, but you need some kind of a student code to get into this Pearson website. And it's got a lot of interactive links. It's got access to the text, to quizzes, to practice questions, to drag and drop simulations. We're going to use their website pretty heavily to supplement different ideas that we're going to cover, different principles that we're going to cover. Many of you are very visual, so if you can see how the molecules are moving and how they interact and how they exchange, it's very helpful as we're learning about these principles. So I'm going to use that website pretty heavily, and you should be able to link to the publisher's website through Canvas when you're in our class. So you'll have to go ahead and register at the Pearson website, and you should see a cover of our book. You can click on that, and there's even some movie links, putting molecules in motion, and different exercises that I'll be assigning throughout the semester. So the sooner you can get the Pearson login taken care of, the easier it'll be. Okay, so I talked about the different assignments throughout this class, and that we're just going to be earning points for your work. You want to keep up to date with all the course material. Usually in Canvas, when I make an assignment, on your right-hand toolbar, you should have a calendar, and it should tell you upcoming due dates, what the assignment is, and if it's past due. So Canvas is going to be really great to help you stay organized and stay on top of everything you need to do this semester in order to earn points. Let's see, what else? I have a couple of suggestions for studying for a class like this. It's very reading heavy, and I have our reading schedule broken down on a daily scheduler for you. That's on page 5. But the recommended study methods here on page 3, I recommend you attend either virtually or in-person lectures. Participate, demonstrate to yourself that you have an understanding of what's being described in class. Take notes, study outside of class. Recommended to give yourself about 2 hours for every hour we spend together in lecture. Keep a calendar. If you have a personal calendar, you want to add important dates for your classes into your calendar. So as you have life happening while you're going to college, you can keep up with major assignments in all your classes. Studying in groups is usually what I suggest, but maybe not so much this semester. And then check Canvas often, because you're going to have daily announcements from me. Assignments will pop up and things like that. And then it goes on to student policies, of course, plagiarism and academic integrity. You know, I shall not cheat. I think we all know that one. I have listings for student support services here at Rose, free personal counseling, our Title IX obligations, the Center for Success, Inclusion, and Diversity. And also I have information about where to get free COVID testing here at Rose State. So all that information is here for you in the syllabus, and the web links and the phone numbers are all here for you. If you need anything, I think Rose State should be able to help you this semester. Okay, so before I start talking about this wonderful page right here, this is probably going to be the most helpful page in your whole syllabus. You might want to tear it out and put it in the front of your notebook. Okay, so it's going to be the student's responsibility to keep track of all their points and all of their due dates, and make sure you submitted all of your work through Canvas on time. I won't be collecting any papers from you, so bringing me your homework, I'm not going to collect it that way. We'll have a practice upload on the very first day of class, and I'll make it worth points, and you guys can practice uploading your papers to me on the very first day. Okay, so the weekly reading schedule, that's this guy. I'm going to talk about it next. I'm hoping that it helps you stay organized and stay on top of assignments and help you with being prepared for quizzes and exams. So what I've done on this schedule is I've mapped out our whole 16-week semester and all of the chapters that will be assigned throughout this semester. And then so each day, so if you have Monday, Wednesday class, I'll see you on the 17th. If you're in my Tuesday, Thursday class, you'll be on the 18th. And so we can all use the same schedule. On the left-hand column is the date, and then which topic we're going to be discussing, and then the corresponding chapter, and then the pages, the reading assignment. I don't always assign the entire chapter. You'll notice in chapter 1, the book goes into pathology. They start talking about diabetes. And I am very much a stickler for learning healthy human physiology. That's what this class is about. So when your book starts talking about examples where illness or disease is involved, I'm going to steer clear of that. I will never put a pathology question on an exam. I want you guys to know normal, healthy function first, whether it's a cell or a tissue or an organ, whatever level we're at, it's going to be healthy, normal. So chapter 1, it's only pages 2 through 12. I think you guys can handle 10 pages. So really follow this breakdown. This is the whole semester, your daily requirements, and of course it's going to be a lot of reading. Most college classes are. And then once you've read over the chapter, usually it's a good idea to at least skim through the chapter assignments before coming to lecture. That way you'll have questions for me. We can interact a little bit better. I don't want to have to introduce everything to you. I want you to kind of know what we're talking about each day, which is why I did this schedule for you. On the far right-hand column, there's directed chapter review. So special questions, maybe a special diagram, maybe in some cases it's an activity, an interactive worksheet, depending on where we're at in the semester. And you can see I've broken it down into Unit 1, which is going to be cell biology mostly. Unit 2 will be the nervous system. Unit 3 is going to be the endocrine system and muscle, which includes the heart. And then Unit 4 is going to be blood pressure, circulation, the respiratory system, and the renal system. And then we'll be at finals in December. So using this daily page is going to be very, very helpful. I would suggest maybe pulling the schedule out and putting it right in front of your notebook. I've done the same thing for lab. So lab is going to be handled kind of like a separate class, but all of the points you accumulate will go towards your final grade. So for lab, we will have a short break after lectures. And because we have such large classes, what we're going to do for your lab time, whichever day you're on for lab, the first hour of lab is going to be, if your last name is A through M, and then the second part of lab, the second hour, will be for L through Z. So I have to split you up. I can't fit everybody in our lab and still maintain social distancing and have safe practices. So you guys should be able to find a lab safety video for our lab and BSL2 practices, which will include PPE, masks, and gloves whenever you're working in the lab. And we're going to have to do a lot more cleaning before we leave in between experiments. So we will practice that once we get into the lab. SF 104 is our lab, and that's on the west end of the building, right before you get to the ladies' bathroom is her lab. So that should help you find it. And we'll just be running between science and math and lecture hall to get our work done on the days that we meet. We've got 13 experiments this semester, and those are all going to generate daily points for you. So by doing the work and submitting your worksheets, it'll be 5 points a day. And then we've got 8 quizzes, and those are worth 15 points each. So all of this will be supplemented on Canvas. So even if you can't do a hands-on lab, you can always do it here on Canvas. Okay, so again, the FLEX option is applied to lab as well. All 13 lab assignments are available for you here. If you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see your modules, Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you'll see laboratory assignments. And if you open that module, you'll see all of our labs, the lab quizzes, everything you need to generate your 175 points worth of laboratory work here online. Okay, so I think I've covered the highlights. You guys can email me before Monday if you have questions, but I really want you to use this time to get your materials together, get your mind around what all we're going to tackle, because we're going to go through the whole human body in one semester. So it is a lot of work. It moves quickly, but if this is anything like how summer went, it's going to go really, really well. Just give us professors a break. We haven't been at work in 5 months. We've been all working here from our kitchen tables, and human physiology was a lot of fun this past summer. And I think now that we're back to the full 16-week semester, you guys are going to do really, really well too, because you have options and no one is going to be forced to come to campus if you don't feel well or you don't feel comfortable being in a crowded situation. It's going to be strange for all of us. So we're going to have patience with each other, and I can't wait to meet you guys in person. But if not, the email is the best way to be in touch with me. And I look forward to getting the fall semester started. Bye for now.